Being in a relationship but sensing that something is amiss can be confusing. Your instincts might be telling you that something isn't quite right. She may seem very reserved when you ask about her past or when you casually bring up other men's names in a normal conversation. If you're seeking a trustworthy relationship, you could be walking into a trap, but I'm here to help you avoid that. If you want to know if she has had multiple sexual partners, there are certain signs to look out for. These 10 signs will provide direct clues about her past. Remember, this isn't about passing judgment, it's about finding the right partner who won't toy with your emotions and is willing to commit to a long-term relationship. So, stay with us until the end of the video to determine whether it's worth starting a relationship with this woman or if you should cut ties as soon as possible. Number 1. She feels very comfortable with physical intimacy. Your first intimate experience with her might have been surprising rather than amazing. You expected it to be fantastic, but it ended up being unexpectedly intense. If she seems very at ease and confident with physical intimacy, it could suggest she's had many previous experiences. If you're confused, let me explain. If she takes the lead like a pro rather than waiting for you to make the first move, it might be a sign of experience. She's not shy about hugs and kisses and is open to more advanced or even unusual moves, readily accepting everything you suggest. If your gut tells you she has a lot of experience with physical intimacy, it's a sign worth noting, but don't jump to conclusions. She could naturally be more expressive or talented in bed, so it's important to pay attention to other signs to ensure she's the right partner for you. Number 2. She avoids emotional closeness. No matter how strong a man is, there are times when he feels emotionally vulnerable and looks to his partner to fill that void. A deep emotional connection and support are vital in a relationship as they help couples navigate difficult times together. But what if your partner doesn't respond to your need for emotional connection? A woman who has had multiple sexual partners might exhibit this behavior and steer clear of emotional closeness. How can you tell if she is truly avoiding emotional connection? If you try to have a deep conversation and she seems to prefer lighthearted chats, quickly changes the subject, or avoids talking about feelings, she might be avoiding emotional intimacy. If your efforts seem to be in vain, it might be time to stop trying. However, this could also mean she's more reserved or has been emotionally hurt before, so it might be worth giving her more time before making a decision. Number 3. She tells vague or inconsistent stories. A significant sign that she might have had multiple sexual partners in the past is if her stories are inconsistent. If, after months together, you still can't say for certain that she's been clear about her past and the stories she shares are vague or inconsistent, this could be a warning sign. For instance, she might tell you one story one day and a different one the next. These inconsistencies could include mentioning multiple guys, talking about a long-term ex and then saying she's never had a serious relationship, or describing a hobby shared with a previous partner that doesn't match her current interests. It's important to remember that not everyone likes to dwell on past relationships, and some people prefer to focus on the present with you. However, if her vagueness or inconsistencies make you feel uneasy or suspicious, it's worth exploring the issue gently. What can you do in this situation? Have a serious conversation with her about this topic and ask her to clarify her past. If she is genuinely interested in a relationship, her reaction will be more telling than her words. If she opens up honestly and fills in the gaps with warmth and clarity, that's a good sign. But if she continues to tell an inconsistent story, it might indicate that you should consider ending the relationship before she plays with your feelings. Remember, you shouldn't rush into making this kind of decision. Relationships require a combination of time and open communication. Give it time and see if her story becomes more clear over time as she builds trust in you. Number 4. She frequently changes plans at the last minute. Has she canceled plans at the last minute more frequently lately? These fluctuations can be more frustrating than the stock market. Have you ever wondered why this keeps happening? It's understandable if plans are canceled for obvious reasons once or twice, but if this happens repeatedly, there's definitely something off. Also, notice that she often provides vague reasons for these cancellations. She might say a last-minute meeting came up, but surprise meetings don't happen that often, or she might mention a friend coming to town but be very careful not to reveal the identity of this friend. You shouldn't let her play with you like this. Clearly, she's prioritizing something over the relationship with you, and that's a sign that cannot be ignored. It's important to remember that everyone has busy lives, and things can come up unexpectedly. Maybe she has a demanding job with unpredictable unpredictable schedules or a close friend going through a tough time who needs her support. However, if these last-minute cancellations are becoming a habit and you feel excluded or unimportant, it's worth having a conversation. Again, communication is key here. Approach her calmly and ask why she's canceling plans repeatedly. Make it clear that this is unacceptable to you and work together to resolve the issue. Number 5. She frequently compares you to previous partners. A woman who is entering a relationship for the first time will never compare you to someone else because you're all she knows. However, if she has had multiple partners in the past, it's likely that she will compare you to her ex-boyfriends at some point, either voluntarily or involuntarily. How do you know if she compares you to her ex-boyfriends? She might mention that the steak you cooked at home is better than what she used to enjoy with her ex, or talk about how an ex loved a certain activity that you've never suggested. During an argument, she might compare your flaws to those of her ex-boyfriend. These comparisons, no matter how subtle, can make you feel insecure. The important thing to remember is that these comparisons are not your fault. A person who has spent time with multiple partners will eventually end up comparing them. You need to let her know that she can't play with you like that. If she regularly compares you to other men, it's time to end the relationship and make it clear that you are not just another guy. Number 6. She's very secretive about phone use. Your partner's phone suddenly becomes her most prized possession when she's around you. She makes sure to keep it face down, quickly changes the screen, or becomes extremely secretive when answering calls in your presence. This behavior can be suspicious and make you wonder if she's hiding something. The reasons for keeping her phone away from you can vary. She might still be in contact with some of her ex-boyfriends or just want to ensure you don't have access to her message history or images from her past. When you ask to see her phone, she might become dramatic, interpreting it as a lack of trust on your part. This can put you in a difficult position where you feel you can't ask about her phone anymore. Before jumping to conclusions, consider that there can always be another story or logical explanation for this behavior. Everyone deserves some privacy, and some people might simply be very protective of their personal space. Maybe she has work conversations she doesn't want to discuss or values her alone time for browsing. However, if the relationship is strong enough, there will come a time when the couple doesn't need to hide their phones from each other. Give it time to see if she changes over time. Otherwise, you will be fully justified in ending the relationship after confirming her phone activities. Number 7. She is very conscious of her physical appearance. In addition to being secretive with her phone, she might be very conscious of both her own appearance and yours. She could spend a significant amount of time grooming herself, constantly checking her reflection, or frequently complimenting others' appearances while taking pride in her own. While caring about one's appearance is healthy, it could also be a sign that she has been with other attractive men in the past and now believes that focusing on physical appearance is somehow relevant to her sexual history. Being overly focused on her own appearance or others can indicate that she is more interested in what's on the outside than what's on the inside. In extreme cases, she may even compare her physical appearance to that of an ex or any random person she sees on her phone. If, instead of talking to you about things that require emotional depth, she spends time comparing herself to others, you have the right to ask why. Even after a serious discussion on this topic, if she doesn't stop these superficial conversations, make it clear that it makes you feel insecure and that she should stop. Otherwise, it would be better to part ways before it's too late. Just remember that some people are naturally more image conscious, so even if she acts this way but her history is very clear to you, it might just be part of her personality, and she needs to accept who she is. Number 8. She shows a lack of interest in discussing sexual health. Talking about sex can be uncomfortable, but it's an extremely important topic, especially when it comes to sexual health. It's crucial for every couple to discuss this because it ensures both partners are on the same page regarding safe sexual practices and creates a space for open communication about their sexual desires and needs. What happens if she is never interested in discussing sexual health? This could mean she's hiding something, leaving you wondering what it could be. Her lack of interest in discussing sexual health may be related to her past. Having multiple partners means she may be more prone to sexually transmitted infections, and the fact that she avoids this topic can be very concerning. If she gets defensive or dismissive about this, it could be a sign. This doesn't necessarily mean she has had a lot of partners. Maybe she feels uncomfortable with these conversations or thinks it's not important. However, if she avoids it, you must make it clear that it is important to you. If she continues to evade this discussion despite its significance. It could indicate she's hiding something or is unwilling to be open and honest with you. In that case, you should reconsider your relationship. Number 9. She has many male friends and seems flirty with them. It's very common for people to have friends of the opposite sex. But what if you notice she has many male friends and behaves very flirty with them? If you start noticing that she talks about her male friends more often than her female friends, or that she spends time with them more frequently, it can raise questions. What if she goes beyond just talking and starts behaving flirty with them? If you catch her sending flirty texts, being overly touchy, or treating them with more attention than you, it can be a sign she has had many experiences with different men and still enjoys male company even when she's with you. Although it's important not to be overly jealous, it's reasonable to feel uncomfortable if she flirts with other men or prioritizes them over you. Some people naturally get along well with the opposite sex, and it doesn't always mean there's something romantic involved. However, if her behavior makes you feel insecure or neglected, you must communicate your feelings to her. She should understand your concerns and address them. If she dismisses your feelings and continues behaving this way, you might need to reconsider the relationship. Number 10. She struggles to commit. This is the last but very important sign to notice in your relationship. If she has had multiple partners in the past, she may have experienced many relationships that started strong but eventually faded, making it difficult for her to commit to one person. How do you know she struggles to commit? You might notice her hesitating when discussing the future, avoiding conversations about long-term plans, or showing reluctance to introduce you to her family or close friends. These behaviors indicate that she is not ready to commit and is still unsure about the relationship. It's important to understand that everyone has their own pace when it comes to commitment. Some people need more time to feel secure, and it doesn't always mean they've had multiple partners in the past. However, if you've been together for a while and she's still struggling to commit despite your efforts, it might indicate she's not serious about the relationship or is hiding something. In this case, have a conversation to understand her concerns and see if she's willing to work towards building a future together. If she's not, it might be best to move on before investing more time and emotions in a relationship that's going nowhere. Like and subscribe for more.